Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good morning. Whatever time it is for you. I'm Erica, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit of drawing live, and you're welcome to join me and draw with me. I'm going to be doing the 100 heads challenge. That's what it's called, 100 heads challenge, and I am just trying to draw portraits every single day. I'm not going to be like on a really hard time frame. Like, I believe I read somewhere that some people did this in 10 days, 100 portraits in 10 days. And I'm not sure I'm capable of that. So I am going to be doing them whenever I want to, whenever I feel like it. So I'm going to do one today, and yesterday I did 2 of them. And I don't know if you've ever heard of this challenge, but I know it was very popular last year. I saw it. I didn't really ever engage or participate, but I did see that people were doing it. If you look on YouTube, you'll see a ton of different videos of people doing 100 heads challenge, where they draw or paint 100 heads. And if you look on Pinterest, you'll find boards where people put together 100 portraits, and there's some that are even numbered, so you could all be doing the first one, the same one for the first one, the same one for the second one, and on and on. I am kind of choosing portraits that I want to do. Full disclosure, I've kind of done this before. This was a long time ago, back in 2018. I was just doing it to practice painting portraits, and I did 110 of them, and I think I did it over 110 days because I was drawing or painting every day for a year. And so I'm assuming that's what I did. I don't really remember. But I do have some experience with this. It is not like totally out of my comfort zone. It is a little bit harder for me. It requires a lot more attention and maybe like thoughtfulness. I have to be a little bit slower and careful, which is hard for me because I like to work really fast. But generally speaking, I do work really fast, so I think that this will be a good exercise for me. And when I did this the last time, so I'm going to show you a couple of mine. When I did this back in 2018, and I did it in this black sketchbook, which is falling apart now. I have since taken some of the drawings out. I sold a lot of them to people who I painted, but also just, gave them away at some point. Like, does anyone want your portrait? I will give it to you. So I did a lot of them on this black paper, and I just did heads. So I have some experience with that. This time I'm going to be using my Talons Art Creation sketchbook, and I had already started using this, but I've only used a couple of pages. So I'm going to dedicate this one to this project. So this is only my 3rd official drawing. This was my first one. It's kind of rough, and I actually have, let me show you. I have some little stickers that I got for to label my drawers, my sticker drawers over here. I got some stickers to label my sticker drawers, and I thought that would be perfect because they go 1 to 100. I guess I don't know where it is. Maybe I misplaced it already. Oh, here they are. I have these little stickers, so I'm going to use these to number all of my drawings every day. And I'll use my little stamp to stamp the date so I can remember them. But this one was in this weird little handmade sketchbook that I made. And then my second one was in my other sketchbook yesterday. I did this portrait of Uncle Fester. So today I kind of want to keep the Halloween spirit going. So I'm going to draw this. I have this photo on Pinterest, this portrait of Shelley Duvall. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Hi, Sarah. It's so nice to see you here. Thank you so much for joining. Yes, I'm so glad you have. Oh, thank you so much for supporting my shop. I appreciate it. And it's so nice to kind of meet, I guess, sort of like this. Thank you for joining. stay as long as you like, go whenever you need to. This is like, I encourage everyone to treat this kind of like a co-drawing session. You are welcome to get your sketchbook out and draw with me. Draw your own image. I do also have a Pinterest board, and I've started to kind of collect the images that I want to draw. I definitely put the ones I've already drawn in there, and I put like the ones I want to draw next. So if you want to follow along, you can go find me on Pinterest. My account is same as this one, flynncrafthouse, and I have a board that's called the 100 Heads Challenge. I also posted a link to it on my Patreon. It's a public page for anyone to go and see it. So if you want to draw with me, you can. You can find it there. So I'm going to be using this book, the new Talons Art Creation book. And let me just switch over so that I can share with you what I'm going to be using. So this is my sketchbook that I'm going to be working in. I have done a couple of things in here, but not enough, not that much. So I'm just going to pivot over to 100 Heads Challenge sketchbook. So I do have these little stickers, which I'm going to use to label all of my heads. And then I have a stamp that everybody always asks me about. I always include this. I stamp my drawings in my sketchbook, kind of like a diary entry. And I just got this on Amazon. It is just a self-inking date stamp. So if you're interested in getting something like that, I do have a link to it somewhere on one of my YouTube pages, but you know, you can just look it up if you want to. So I'm also going to be using, today I'm using these markers that I just got fairly recently. They are the Shuttle acrylic paint markers. That's what I'm going to be using. I like them. I just got them. I saw another artist on Instagram. Her name is Bianca Basso, drawing with them. And I had never seen, well, I had used a lot of acrylic markers, but these have a brush tip. And I had not seen a brush tip acrylic marker. So I really wanted to try them because brush tips are like my favorite. I use Tombow markers quite a bit. So I also recommend those if you want to try those. But I've really been enjoying how the opacity of these markers. So I want to just share something with you because then that way I can show you what I mean. So there's something really nice about these markers because they are opaque, but they're not as opaque as like a Posca marker. I personally don't think so. Some of them are, some of them are less. So then one of the things that kind of happens, and this might be something that you don't like, or in my case, like I found it to be a like pleasant surprise, is that if you put like a dark color down and then you cover it with another color on top of it, some of that dark color kind of peeks through. And I like that because it helps me to sort of extend the range of value that I can create with one marker. So it gives me the opportunity to make like a darker version of it just by stacking colors. And so that's something that I like to do. This is the one that I did yesterday. And so you can see where I kind of did that. Like here, I put like the purple. I think I put the purple underneath the like tan beige color. And so it kind of widen my like spectrum of color that I have to use, right? And so that's what I want to experiment with a little bit more. I do love kind of stylistic colors, so I might play with that. I'm really just gonna see what happens. So I don't know what I'm gonna do really, but I do appreciate whenever there's something that's a little bit unnatural. Like I love an unnatural color combo, so I might play with that. Now I'm also limited by these colors. I want to say there were 48 colors. I don't love all of them. I definitely need some neutrals, and there's not enough neutrals. So sometimes I'll just stack them up. I find that I'm getting a lot of use out of this one. And the other thing is that none of these have names. So brown or whatever this is, tan, cream. And then we'll just kind of see what happens. We'll see what we can do. And I'm getting a lot of use out of this lavender. And I feel like these are great for shadows. So, you know, do what you like. But I usually like to use like a blue for my darkest value. Like instead of black, I'll use something bluish. So I'm going to kind of pull that one out. Just keep everything in here. And as I need, I will fish through and find what I need. So I'm just going to go ahead and start drawing. And if you want to draw along, great. If you have questions or anything, feel free to chat in the chat box, and I will try to be attentive to that. Oh, the other thing I don't like about these is that, like, you can't, like, that is a recipe for disaster for me. I'm going to lose these at some point. Okay, so I'm just going to start with my drawing, and I'm not much of a pencil sketcher. You probably know that if you follow me already. So I'm just going to try my best. Sometimes these can be really hard to do because of, you know, figures. Figures are just more challenging, I think, because we're trying to aim for getting them just right. And so when you don't, like, it can be really kind of disheartening. But I just feel like if it doesn't work, like, it's okay. Like, we're gonna just try our best, and if things go awry, then they go awry. Okay, I think, like, I like to kind of place everything where I think it goes. So I'm going to sort of like place the eyes, and I think the eyes should be about in the middle. Her face is like expressive, so it's not like she's got a very still face. So I think that is important to note, that might change like some of the proportions that you might be used to drawing. So I usually just start really rough like this. And everything's about, it's about like relationships, right? Where something is in relationship to another. So it's gonna be kind of funny because, you know, you don't want to like mess up a portrait, but you probably don't want to mess it up extra on a live stream. So we shall see how this goes. If it's rough, then it's rough. We will learn. It will be a learning experience. Okay, and then I just like to kind of block in where I see shadows. I don't know if this is like my all the time routine, but I'm just gonna look for them and put them in where I think they should go. This will be like definitely pretty ugly before it gets better. I think, in my experience, that's kind of how it goes. So, you know, just stay with me. Let's see if we can pull this together. I'm not going to do too much. This is supposed to be like a head's portrait, right? So not too much body. I don't even know. Maybe I should put this like that in. I don't know. I'm just going to indicate it because this is kind of the stopping point. I don't want to do too much of the extra stuff around. So we'll just try our best. Wow, she has such amazing eyes. I love this super heavy lid. It is so beautiful. I think it's like I love a heavy lid. I think it's very attractive. And she has definitely a heavy lid. Oh, see, so the other thing I want to check here is like placement. Is that in the right place? I think this feels okay, but the mouth still feels really like lopsided. And unfortunately, sometimes I kind of move forward and I don't make corrections to those like lopsided things. So when that happens, it can be, I mean, it can really kind of mess with your painting or your drawing. So I think it's a good idea I don't always do it, but I do think it's a good idea to try to make corrections as you go, especially before you get too far into it, because otherwise it's very hard to correct. And then sometimes you get kind of like stuck to the image, and if it's wrong, like you're reluctant to change it. I'm just gonna try and like give myself a little bit more information here, because right now I'm still not fully sure where the eyes are, so I need to kind of just block them in. And I'm gonna use another color so that I can see them. Same here. Same here. Just pulling. I'm going to use this purple to kind of like mark in where the darks are. Let's see. This is looking so rough. I remember when I did this project a long time ago, back in 2018, I painted 110 portraits at least. That's what I remember, and that's what I have like a record of. So I think it might have been more, but that's probably where I ended about. I could see after 110, I started like 111, but it didn't go well and I gave up because I could see that it was started in that next page in the sketchbook, but I didn't finish it. So it stayed rough and I think I might have stopped at that point. But when I did that, at first, my first portraits were pretty rough. It was hard. It was a hard project for me. I had done portraits before, but never that many and never like that fast. I was doing one every day. So I wasn't like, I didn't really have like an understanding of how to do that. And that process really helped me improve. So if nothing else, even if you have a lot of like terrible drawings in this process, like it is so helpful for improving your like drawing skill, your observation drawing skill. I noticed that my portraits got better as I practice. Obviously, like that's the whole lore, you know, like supposedly you get better, but a lot of times we don't continue our practice. We just give up before we get better. And besides getting better, I got like faster. And then the other thing I would say is that the likenesses got better. So they began to look a little bit more like the people I was trying to draw. And at the beginning, they kind of looked like people, but they didn't look like that particular person. So I think as somebody who likes to do portraits, I feel like the likeness is really important. I think it's important, but especially if you're ever going to do like, you want to do like commissions or something, you want to draw for somebody else, you know, I feel like it's really important. But I did kind of see some improvements in my drawing when I did that. And I'm hoping to see that happen again. So we will see if we're able to do that. And I also, you know, when you draw every day, I feel like you can't, I don't know, maybe some people can, but you have to be more realistic about how much time you have to devote to that. And so sometimes I think they have to be like faster, because who has time to sit and paint for 3 hours every day? Something's funny about the nose. I gotta fix the nose. The nose is crooked right now, so I'm going to try to scooch it over a little bit and see if I can correct that. I'm gonna try. The good thing about these markers is that since they are acrylic, you can really build them, build up the layering, and they're buildable, but they're also opaque, so they can be, you can just hide something that's underneath, right? If you need to. She doesn't look like sad or terrified enough yet. I have to move this down a little bit. Okay, let me move. I'm going to keep the bottom of her lip there. I think that's okay. But I think she needs more room for tongue and teeth. So let's see. What do I want to do next? I'm going to bring in, I always like to use purple for mine. I like blue normally, but when I'm using this lavender, I feel like purple's a better choice for the shadows. This is what I have used so far, so I'm going to leave those marked there. I kind of feel like I should use this. Let's see. Yeah, we'll try that. That looks so much like the pink I had already used, so might not make much of a difference here. I feel like her nose is so rosy. It's also really small, like that septum. Very small. Maybe her lip should be a little higher, I think. Well, I think the lip is okay, but I think the teeth need to be, there needs to be more space devoted or designated for the teeth. Let me just use this white to kind of mark out where I think the teeth should go. Teeth also here, and of course we will need to, you know, adjust that a little bit, but just trying to move it down a little bit. And then usually when I kind of start to correct those little spaces, the spacing, it starts to feel a little bit more accurate for me, or like it starts to make more sense to me. Right now, it's not fully making sense. I'm just hopeful that I can get it to make sense at some point. There. So yeah, I think like that was, I mean, the big thing that I was the most impressed by when I did my first round of this type of challenge, portrait challenge, was that I did see improvement within that time, and it was something that I've always talked about, but like sometimes it's hard to see your own improvement when you are, you know, drawing. You're immersed in that, and it is hard to see when you've made growth. And so you have to like look at it from, like, you got to step back from it, right? I'm making her nostrils too big and too far apart. Okay, this is going to be for my darks, so I'm just going to bring some darks in here now. I'm just slowly building it up. This week in my classroom, we are painting a master study of Van Gogh's Starry Night with my Art 1 students, with my beginners. And they are so funny because I'm guiding them like the entire way. Like, I don't expect them to do this by themselves, even though it's it's not a super simple painting, but for a beginning artist, it might feel overwhelming, or, you know, very, very challenging, like maybe out of their range of ability. And so I've been like literally, you know, walking them through this step by step. I said, okay, everybody draw. We're gonna start with like a little loose grid. So put like a straight line across the top, and then another one across the left to right, or whatever, right? And the students were like, we've already got like the structure in, and we are working on the like the sky, right? The back of the sky, not the like swirly wind or anything like that. And so they are like, this looks so bad, Miss B. They just like don't think that it's going to become something good, you know, right? They just don't have that like vision for it. And I tell them, you guys, this is a very much like, especially like with the method that I teach them, which is like an underpainting, it's very rough before it gets better. And so I tell them, like, you know, this is very much a trust the process kind of practice here. And so I just want you to like trust the process. Just remember that like you have to go through like some ugly stages to get to like a beautiful stage. And I said, just think of this as like the middle school years. This is like our rough stage, you know, and it will get better, and you will love your drawing later, I hope. That's the goal. But you just have to make it through these like rough stages. So don't give up, because that's usually the time when they all want to quit and start again. Just don't do that. I feel like that's the worst thing we can do, because then you never move forward. Like, it just becomes constantly you're starting over, because you'll never get past that like rough stage. This is a rough stage, right? She looks rough right now. You know what I feel like I want to do like a very, I wonder if I have a light blue. Like a light blue for the skin would be kind of fun. Weird, but maybe fun. I don't know if there's anything light enough. These are not acrylic, so I'm going to take that out. Let's see if we have something light enough. Maybe this. This looks like our lightest. Ooh. I don't know about that. Let's see what this looks like. These are maybes, right? These are like not for sures. Maybe I'll use this one. It's just so like plain. Okay, so I'm just gonna lay it down, and you can kind of see when it lands on top of that purple, you're gonna see that you can kind of get a hint of that purple peeking through underneath, and I think that that's something that I really enjoy because it, again, further like expands my palette, my color range. And I'm gonna put this like right, I'm just gonna fill it all in. There, you can see that purple kind of underneath there. It's not totally covered. And here we can kind of correct some stuff, make some new shapes. Looking a little rough right now. I'm going to bring, I think we need a lot of light, like there's a lot of light right here in the middle of her face. So we will find that in a minute. Not yet. Not just yet. Like here, I can use this marker to kind of reshape the lip to shape how much of that we want to show there. Maybe around the eye here too. I'm gonna add something. I feel like that's still like pretty dark. Let me see if this is gonna be this. I think this is the same one here. Oh no, it's even lighter. Very good. So we'll put some of this in here because we need something a little bit lighter. This is where her eyebrows are gonna be, so bring that in there. There should be some light right here. There should be some light right here. A little bit on the lip, definitely on the chin. I always like to scan the image, and I'm scanning this image, and then I am, you know, just trying to use this one marker like for whatever areas need it at that time. I always say that like I have a tendency to be like, I call it efficient, but it can also be like lazy. Like if I have the color out, I'm going to use it everywhere I can before I move to another one. I don't know, this was an odd choice for that little part right there, but we shall see. We'll see if we can pull it together. I'm going to try to blend this a little bit, that little purple line. I'll try to blend it into the skin maybe. I don't know. We'll see if that can happen. Let's put some of this on the ear. We've kind of neglected the ear. Just to remember that that's going to be ear. Ooh, okay. So was this my lightest one? I think so. The problem also with these is that they don't have numbers. They don't have names. So it can be, I think that's the same one. It can be hard to find the correct one that you want. Like this would be good for the inside of the eye, the white of the eye. It's not like super white, so keep that in mind. There's usually a lot of shadow. So I'm going to use this little bit of white on top of it, and then it won't be like really bright, glaring white. It'll be a little bit like softer because there's a color underneath it. Right here. Right here where she has like a lot of light on her face. Right here as well. Kind of fades away there. Let's bring those teeth in again. maybe need to adjust that a little bit. Uh-oh. My dog is, something has triggered her and she is not pleased. I know that somebody told me that my dog's barking, which she tends to bark on my live streams all the time, that they are not as loud as I think they are. So I'm happy to hear that. If it is loud, apologies. Okay, so it's kind of coming together. I don't know if it really looks like her yet, but let's do something a little bit darker for her lips. I feel like those like really like they look very like blood stained, you know, kind of lips. She has kind of like an orangey kind of lip. I don't really want to use like red per se, but we'll try this, and if we don't like it, we'll just draw over it. I do like this color a little, and I think with that pink that was already there, this is where we start to have to like be a little bit more careful. Just a little bit more refined, you know, making sure that you're getting the angles right. If you want that, if you care about that. So I usually start out really rough and very fast, and then I have to slow down as I go. That's I don't know, that might be an odd choice for the color. Let me try this red. I'm going to try adding a little bit of the red. And I don't want this to be like, oh, red lipstick. I don't want it to look like that, so I have to be like kind of careful about, you know, making things a little too outliney. Maybe just put the pink on top of it to soften it a little bit. Because again, I don't want it to be super glaring, crazy looking like eyeshadowy. I mean, I'm not eyeshadow, lipsticky kind of thing, right? Now I do want to use a dark color for the darkest shadowy thing. So I think I need something darker than that one. Is that the same? I can't tell. I think that's a little bit darker. So now I'm going to add some of that on the hair, especially the parts that like you don't really see anything. It just looks dark. That's where I want to put this, but I don't want to put it everywhere. There's going to be some parts that I would like some parts of the hair to appear to have a little bit more like light on them. So I want to be selective when I put this on there. Just find those areas. Usually they'll be right along the side of the face for sure, because that's usually where you have like, especially the neck, right next to the neck, usually you have a lot of shadow there. I'm going to put a little bit here right underneath the teeth so it can feel like that's like deeper, like further away. I'm going to put some on the little pupil, and then I'll probably come back in and add more of that like lighter purple for the eyes so that they don't look like, you know, what would we say that's like crazy, you know, crazy eyes. We don't want to have any crazy eyes. We want to make them look a little more subtle. That is always a result of like contrast, I think, and so if you have a lot of contrast, they're going to look a little crazy. If you make it a little bit more subtle, so maybe 2 shades of purple that are a little bit more similar, it won't seem as crazy. Here, there's not a lot of shadow right next to, well, there's a little bit, but it's kind of like here too. There's a lot of dark shadow right there. And then there's a little bit here. I'm just going to put a thin line right there. Let me get those eyes in because the eyes look funny to me still. Especially like here. Like I don't want it to seem like there's a little dot floating in the middle of her eye. Even though I know that, you know, generally speaking, there is a little dot floating in her eye. But we want to make sure that it doesn't seem that unnatural. That's a little bit lighter. Gets a little darker down here. Maybe I should just put that all darker. Because it is a little bit lighter, but it's not like as light as, I don't know, you know, the highlights or anything like that. See if we can do a little bit more shadow here because it doesn't look quite right there. I don't remember which color is that one. Do a little shadow right there. This is not the important part, but it does look a little undeveloped. Let's do the not as dark. Oh, this is the other thing I don't like about these markers. This happens. Sometimes it just starts happening and I can't get it to stop. Oh, that's so annoying. Shuttle. I like these markers, but fix that, please. Let's do a little bit of detail on the ears, just because we want to make sure they kind of read as like the ears sort of in the background. There. I feel like this should be like even darker right here. Like it should just feel like clustered hair. I don't know if that makes sense. So I see, like, this is a good example of something that, you know, I needed to correct at the beginning, right? So one of the things I'm seeing here, this eye in the picture is just a little bit smaller, right? It is on mine too, but it is also there, right? So they also just don't feel like lined up. So, okay, I'm gonna try to fix. Oh, hate these. No, I don't hate them. I actually really like these markers. I was very pleasantly surprised to see I think this could help. To see a brush tip alcohol marker. I know I mentioned that earlier, but that's what was like the wow moment for me. Maybe I should make this a little bit lower. Let's try that. This is where you can really kind of like mess it up. So you got to be careful. Like I'm going to try to shave off a little bit of the eye there so I can bring it down a little bit. And this may be a big mistake. We will see. And if it goes terribly awry, I will try to fix it. But if I can't fix it, I'm going to try to be okay with that. I'm going to try not to stress out. Put these little lights in there. I'm going to try to be gentle with myself about that, because that could definitely happen. You just don't know. While I have the white out, I'll just go and kind of look for those other lighter areas that I can put in right now, just because it's here and it's fresh. I wonder if we should put a little bit in the hair, just a little. Like, can we smudge it? Yes, we can. I like that too, because you can kind of soften it. It doesn't have to look super dramatic. Like that. There we go. Okay, let's see, where else can we come to? Let's come back. Sometimes also I feel like I need to take like a little breather from looking at, especially if I'm struggling with anything. I just kind of try to take a little break from looking at it, go to a different area, come back to that later, because it can just, I feel like sometimes you need to get like fresh eyes. I always tell my students I'm going to clear my cache. I need to clear my cache so I can see it, especially with their work. I need to see it again with fresh eyes and try not to see the same problems that you were seeing before. So that's what I try to do. I noticed with my painting I did yesterday that it was very low contrast. There wasn't like enough value range. So my lights were very dark, or they still were pretty dark. So I want to try to be a little more cognizant of that this time and try to add a little bit more light. It's looking kind of funny still, but okay, I'm going to try to fix that. Let's see. Let's try a pink instead of going in with purple, which is very dramatic and severe. We're going to try something a little bit more subtle. Let's kind of paint over that just a little. I know I just put some white on there, but it is okay. I'm reshaping. You're kind of like chiseling away at it and trying to like redevelop that area. I think I need to take a little bit of that purple off. Bring in a little bit more white in here. That looks like Steve Buscemi eyes. Reminds me of Randall from Monsters Inc. Okay, let me see. Feeling a little bit better. I don't know. We shall see. I want to look at it with the other one in just a sec. Trying not really to look too much at it right now. I'm just trying to think about what I see instead of thinking about like what's going wrong right now. Just okay, I'm gonna come back to that. Now there is another end on this marker. It does have a little like a dot tip, I guess, or that little fine tip, and you can just make like straight lines with it, but I've not really used that. Not very interested in it at all. Yeah, add some of this purple here on the side. Bring some of that purple in again. Taper the nose with it. Perhaps a little bit overlapping that pink on the inside of the eyes. Kind of shows like that like capillary kind of, you know, blood under the skin kind of look, you know. I'm gonna leave that little there. Let's put that one in there. I'm going to leave that like hollow kind of shape on her. Let me put some over here on the side of her cheeks. They are kind of like, you know, dramatic. Now the thing about these markers is that they are markers, so it's not like you can like easily just blend anything. Hi Elizabeth, I'm sorry I'm so late. I didn't see that. How are you? Thank you so much for coming in. I'm drawing Shelley Duvall from The Shining. Trying at least. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit of a struggle. And I'm just hoping for the best here, because this is live after all, you know. And nobody wants to fail live, but it happens. So we shall see. This is, so far, I feel like it's a little rough still, but I'm gonna try to see if I can get it to come together at some point. I'm gonna put some little light on here. So a little bit of light right here on the tip, right next to the face. Let me see. You were making last minute trips to Joanne's. Oh, nice. Did you find anything good? Also, you have to tell me what you thought of the movie last night, because I saw it and oh my gosh, it was just, let me just say there was a lot of crying. So if you have seen The Wild Robot, tell me what you think, because oh my god, I saw it last night and it, wow, made me cry. I was just like crying the entire time. I mean, I am a self-proclaimed like crybaby, so I think that's like, you know, normal for me. But oh my gosh, it was so heart-wrenching. I was like, this is the saddest movie ever. And maybe not sad, but like definitely tender. Okay, let's see what we can pull in here. I do see some light right here under the nose. Definitely got a lot here on the chin. Oh no, she looks rough. You cried. Let's see. Elizabeth says that you cried hard. So me too. I was like, oh my God. Especially, yeah. Yeah. Me too. I want to cry right now. Let's not do that. Yes. Oh yeah. Because I felt like kind of like you were crying. I mean, not you, me. I was crying so fast. Like I was like, wow, they didn't waste any time getting us there. So I don't know. I didn't really want to see the movie. Like I hadn't thought about it at all. But then, people were talking about how they were all crying. And I was like, okay, I have to see this now. Some people don't want to see movies if they make them cry. Look, I'm putting some blue in here because I just felt like the urge. I think I'm going to kind of reserve the blue for this side of the head. I don't know if I'll really put any in there unless it's like extremely dark right here. Like very, very dark. I kind of want to leave it here. I want it to be like the deepest parts, the deepest recesses. Maybe even right here. This does feel, oh, I already put them in there. Maybe the back of the mouth too. I'll leave it like that. Maybe the eyes too and the lash line because that definitely feels like some of the darker spots on the image. Ooh. Do you feel like this is a little too slanted here? Maybe I need to shave a little bit off the eye. I don't know. I'm feeling like I'm getting close to wanting to finish, and I'm feeling about it. The lip still feels funny. It's not quite right, the shape. So let me try to fix that before I call this done. I think it's kind of like crooked, like it's slanted that way, but it needs to be like that. So I'm going to try to move it over right there. Maybe put a little bit more light on the lip too because I don't think it's that straight there. There is a little bit of light on that, so I want to put that in too. Oh, you know what I think we can do? I'll just make sure this is the right one. Is a little teeny bit of dark there. Lightning. Okay, right here. A little bit right there. I don't think there's a lot of shadow that dark on the bottom lip, but there is a shadow, so I think it should be this red instead. See, I still feel like it's crooked again. Now it's re-crookeded. Let's see if I can fix it again. Maybe I can also, where's that color? This one. Kind of shape it a little bit right here. Take a little bit off there. Take a little bit off here. Just basically redrawing it. Right there. I think she needs a little bit more, even kind of, dare I say, purplish on the lips there. See, that still feels like, that reads very crooked to me. Let's put this on the bottom here. The bottom of the lip, right up there. The bottom of this lip, right there. Right there. Oh no. I do not. Oh, maybe this one. I think this might be a good choice for like these eyelashes. And I do think we need some like more white in there. It does look like it gets close to the lash line, but oh, sorry, I'm missing the chat. Let me see. The two main guys, Carl and the bad guy, look like both of my grandpas. Oh, you can't watch that ever again. Oh, I can feel that. Yes, I agree with the whole dad thing. But I loved it too. Yes. I'm also using a reference, and the reference I put onto a Pinterest board. It is, I made a board that's called 100 Heads Challenge or 100 Faces or something like that. And I just put the ones I've already drawn, and then I put some extra ones on there for like things, like ones that I would like to draw next. And all of them are kind of like Halloween-y for now. So, you know, I did the Fester, Uncle Fester yesterday. And I put some Beetlejuice ones, and what else? Oh, I have a Mia Farrow from Rosemary's Baby. Oh, that haircut. So good. So I can't wait to draw that one. And put some more of this. This is a little bit darker. Like I literally am having a really hard time even seeing the value here, but I think it's a good choice for the eyelids and the nose. Maybe that nose is also a little crooked. I think I'm getting a little bit of a glare here, so that's why I'm definitely a little crooked here. I feel crooked. This was a good color choice for the lips. Too bad I saw it so late. I didn't think about it. See, I feel like I want to scooch it over a little bit more. I think I can put a little bit in the ear. I'm going to bring some more, maybe, is this the light pink? Yeah. Some light pink in the eyelid, just to make them look really round. And I think also some dark to create that crease, like really deep crease. Which, oh, this marker, you're killing me, Smalls. Hold on, there we go. I just gently rock it out. It will come out, but let's see if we can kind of curve that right. The nose, I think a little bit more darkness in the nose too. Yeah, you should try these, Elizabeth. I bet you would crush it. I'm not, you know, sure how great these will always be, but I think it's going to be a good exercise for me to try, you know, just to break out of the same old stuff. Oh, and I want to put a little bit more white in there. Maybe on the eye here. Add a little wateriness to her eyes there. A little bit more there. I don't want these to be like glowing whites of the eye, but I do want you to be able to distinguish, excuse me, distinguish where the skin ends and the like white of the eye begins. So that's what I'm just kind of aiming for here. Put a little bit of light right there. Hit that tip of the nose again. Hit the lip right there. And I'm going to leave the little sweater like that. Like I literally don't care about that. So I'm going to call this one done. It's a little funny. I didn't really do much to the eyebrows because they're so soft and very like pale. Right? So you can see how soft they are. So I really just indicated them just a little bit right there. Oh, I'm so glad you like the references. Yeah, I really wanted like some fun color challenges, so I found some that were a little bit more unusual. This one's just like natural color, but I wanted to play. I played a little. I mean, purple I kind of lean on, and blue for in place of black, and then the lavender. There's just limited colors that I have to choose from. So I'm going to call this my third portrait. So I have these nifty little stickers that I ordered for something else, and they are just coming in handy here. And if you know me, you know I love to see like the mixture of I love to have a stamp on my drawing. I love, in this case, I like the stamp and the sticker. And then I'm going to write in So this is like for my 100 days. I'm just going to put, no, not 100 days, 100 heads. 100 heads. This is number 3. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. I don't know if I'm going to do anything on the other side. I was saying at the beginning of the video that I'm going to dedicate this new sketchbook. It's sort of new. I used a couple of pages in here, but I'm going to dedicate this new sketchbook to just my heads. So I might not put anything here, but I mean, I do have, I don't know how many pages are in here. I feel like if I need to, I can use both sides. And then these markers, they don't bleed through, so they're actually pretty good to use both sides of the page. So, but I can also do other things. That would be super cool if I did things that were related to the scene, or like things that kind of are inspired by that. Yeah, I kind of want to do the Jack Nicholson one too. I think I kind of like was picking a lot of women, but I know that that's usually what I would draw. So I want to actually try and draw men too, because it's not like my natural go-to. So I want to do that. Pencil sketching on the other side would be a good idea too. I know I'm watching the 100 head, no, like a sketchbook tour from Emily Hughes, and her pencil drawings are so beautiful. And I definitely don't ever do that, so it might be fun to do that too. So maybe that's what I'll do on the other side. No plans for that yet, but I am glad that I got one of these drawings done today. I'm going to do another one tomorrow, so I have already a stream set up for that one, and I'll share that with you guys on Patreon later. But if you want to join me, you can check out the Patreon post that I just posted today. It is public and open for everybody to see, and it has a link to the Pinterest board that I'm going to be using. And that has like, I'm just going to keep adding pictures there. I'm going to try to put them in the order that I'm doing them. So just keep that in mind. But I do have extra ones there right now that I haven't started yet. So I'm only on number 3, but hopefully, let's say by, what we say, like November? No, sorry. Let's be real. If we do one per day, what do I need? Like till January or so? And then hopefully I'll have all my 100 heads done. Yes, thank you so much for coming, Elizabeth. Go enjoy the play, and we'll chat later. Have a great one. And with that, I will also say goodbye. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And if you have any other questions, leave them as a comment. This is going to be available for replay. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know that this was a very last minute, but this is going to help keep me accountable, so I appreciate you. And I wish you guys happy drawing, and I will see you at the next one. Bye.